Left-wing activists are planning insurrection on Election Day. They're planning to have massive riots all over the country, no matter who wins the election. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on the internet, we've got to talk about a radical notebook, a radical manuscript circulating online, put out by left-wing activists and insane people. Here we can see on Breitbart.com, read, left-wing radicals post online guide to disrupting the country if the election is close. So the guide is called Stopping the Coup. Ironic. I find it very funny that they call it Stopping the Coup because, as we're going to find out, this Google document actually, well, it is a coup. It's basically saying that left-wing activists are going to stage massive protests and riots around the country in order to force Trump out of the White House and take over the United States. We're not looking at an election day, we're looking at an insurrection day. And we're going to talk all about it and more, because there's a few stories I want to talk to you about this morning, as well as this coup. So, before we get into it, folks, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the bell button for notifications so that you always get updates on more content. And please, share these videos by posting them online. I rely on viewers like you to share my content and help spread the word. So here's the Google document that's online. Here it says, Stopping the Coup, the Disruption Guide for 2020. And it's actually insane because if you look through this, they talk about basically overthrowing the United States of America, no matter what. And right here, this is what's the most terrifying thing about this. False declaration of victory. They're basically making the claim that before we've even had an election, if Trump says that he won, or he gets enough votes to win, they're going to say that it's fake. Even if you win, you don't win because we say so. Basically, they're trying to claim ahead of time that if Trump says he's going to win, then it's fake news, that he's lying. That's the most delusional, deranged thing I've ever heard. If Trump wins fair and square, he won fair and square. But before we get into this, a quick word from this week's sponsor.
Howdy, partner. The Brave browser protects your privacy and gets you back in the saddle, making it safe to surf the web again, ad-free. Even Vladimir Putin probably uses it. If you do choose to see ads, you get paid for your attention in cryptocurrency. If you're still using YouTube on Google Chrome, then my pet horse is laughing at you. Don't let the stallions of Silicon Valley spy on you and mount you like a prize pony. Download Brave by clicking on the link down below.
So this is what they're saying. We can assume that there will be mass confusion about what actually happened on Election Day in the following ballot counting period. We know that Republicans will lie, manipulate, red bait, and Antifa bait their base. So everything that they're listing here are things that Democrats are doing and do on a regular basis. We know that the Democrats will lie, manipulate, bait, and use Antifa. But they're claiming that's what Republicans are going to do. There's an old saying that's proven true time and time again. The left always projects. They go on to say that we also know that the president will use the power available to influence the election in his favor. An attempted coup is possible and perhaps probable. In the end, the actual electorate might be split, half truly believing that Trump was elected legally and half knowing that he was not. See, doesn't this just poison the well? The whole assumption here is that no matter what, there's no way he can win, and that if he does win, oh, he's lying? Well, what kind of nonsense is this? This entire document is propaganda. So they go on to say, and this is the most insane thing possible. I just want to make that clear. What I'm about to read is not true. It is the writings of deranged lunatics. Now, they claim in this guide that they're going to be peaceful and that they're just going to protest. We know what happens when left-wing activists say that they're going to protest peacefully. It's mostly peaceful. In other words, not peaceful at all. They go on to say, it is in this muddied context of legal political wrangling that we must take action. We cannot wait to see how the chips will fall. That will only ensure more power for the violent supremacist machine that is the Trump administration and its supporters. So this has to be one of the worst cases of Trump derangement syndrome I've seen in a while. In other words, they literally just called half of America supremacists. Now, let me make something clear. I voted for Donald Trump in the last election, and I don't believe in any of that. I believe in equality. I believe in equal opportunity. I believe that we're all Americans. And also, this may be surprising, but I'm not white. I am a minority. I am a member of the LGBT. And guess what? I voted for Trump. So no, all of Trump supporters are not just bigots. They're not supremacists. This is a lie. Like, they honestly believe that black people don't vote for Trump. I'm not black personally, but I am a minority. My point is, minorities do vote for Trump. Like, they're insane. As the protests in Minneapolis, Ferguson, Portland, Seattle, and countless others here in a broad show, our actions need to be both sufficiently disruptive and sustained over weeks or even months. So they're basically saying that they want to riot and protest for months and months and months and months and months. Now, they're claiming that they want to do peaceful protests. They're calling it disruption. What does that mean? It means that they're going to take over the streets. They're going to stop people from getting to work. They are going to disrupt society and cause everyone trouble. And undoubtedly, some of this will end up in conflicts with the police and with private property, and it just won't end well for anybody. I want you to look at the following story on the Daily Mail. New Jersey high school student says he was kicked out of a virtual class for having a Trump campaign banner in the background of his home. So this is the student, and just because he had a Trump 2020 flag, he was kicked out of the class. This is where we're headed in this country. Left-wing woke ideology is a poison. It is toxic, and it has taken over our academia, our schooling, and they're basically brainwashing kids. So when somebody supports Trump, they kick him out of the class. Do you understand that these teachers are radicalizing children? And that this left-wing politics is a poison that's infecting everything? They talk about resistance. They are the mainstream. The resistance are people who support Trump. The resistance are conservatives. The resistance are liberals who refuse to vote Democrat. That's the real resistance. In other news, Jack Dorsey is apologizing. Yeah, right. To Trump after Trump threatened to remove Facebook and Twitter. Why? Because Facebook and Twitter are censoring the Hunter Biden email scandal. They're censoring it. They're saying that, this material is hacked, so it's dangerous, so we're going to block any and all links reporting on the story. However, I wanted to talk about this because it shows you that there's basically left-wing agents running social media. Jack Dorsey is one of them. And look at what he says. Our communication around our actions on the NY Post article was not great, and blocking the URL, sharing via tweet or DM with zero context as to why we're blocking, unacceptable. Think about this very carefully. They're calling this an apology, but what is it really? Well, it's basically saying, we should have explained why we're censoring you better, but we're still gonna censor you. Are you kidding me? This is a non-apology. They're not apologizing for censoring truthful information, deep corruption in Joe Biden's family, thousands of photos that expose him, and his long history of insane action. This document was created by a group called Shut Down DC. Their slogan is Defend Democracy by instituting authoritarian anarchy. It's time to organize. Shut Down DC uses strategic direct action to advance justice and hold officials accountable. We're a growing movement and we're getting up for an uprising. Sounds like a threat. So this is one of many left-wing groups that is plotting to basically riot all over the country on election day. In order to join this so-called group, you have to give your full name, your email, and your phone number. Yeah, so basically they want to take your personal information, and if you look at these pages, it's insane. Election 2020. Donald Trump must go. Orange man bad. Our call to action. Donald Trump must go. It's as simple as that. For 4 years, Trump has used hate, state violence, and unprecedented corruption, and executive overreach. Blah, 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 blah. Like I said, the left always projects. A lot of people are under the mistaken perception that if only Trump loses, the riots and the protests will stop. They will not. In fact, I predict that if Joe Biden wins, it's actually going to get worse. But there you have it, folks. Don't tell me that this movement is peaceful. I don't believe it. I believe they need to be investigated, and if they're doing anything criminal, of course they need to be charged. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? Are you ready for the massive insurrection on election day? Man, I don't want this. I don't want these radicals out on the street doing anything, honestly. I just want them to accept it. There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. If you want to support my channel, you can join me on Patreon or Subscribestar. If you want to donate, you can visit my donor box page or send me crypto. Links and addresses are down below. Other ways to support the channel include visiting my merch store or one of my sponsors. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time. If a right-winger had made the same kind of document, they would have taken it down.